All right, folks, welcome to Flux TV here at Flux Motorsport for tonight's Flux American Sports Car Championship race at the Long Beach Street Circuit. I'm your host, Carlin Hicks, with you here tonight, and we are looking forward to a fantastic race. This is the third round of 8 in the 2021 Season 2 Flux American Sports Car Championship, which is using the GTE class full-bodied sports cars. Should be a fantastic battle. We have seen nothing but action in the first 2 rounds of the championship. I'll be recapping that a bit here as we're going forward. All right, going to get myself out of the way here as your broadcaster. Get ourselves set up. As we prepare for tonight's third round race here. We're sitting on board there with Taijo, our winner last week at Willow Springs. We will touch on him a bit. Also here, as per usual in Flux Motorsport Championship events, a 20-minute qualifying session is our opener, followed by a 45-minute championship featured event. We have 13 cars in the field right now. We are expecting the possibility of a 14th. The current points leader, Dale the Whale, running a little late getting his entry, and we hope to see him. He's got about 15 minutes to beat the inspection timer, so we're hoping to see him in here as well. I get my notes ready here. I'm going to take a look at our standings and run ourselves down. As I said, Dale the Whale was your winner at Daytona. Looks like we've got commentary there from the reigning Flux American Sports Car Champion from last season, CDN Trooper. Stay out of those walls, gentlemen. Looking forward to a great race. He was the champion, took it with his win at Texas Motor Speedway in the final round last season. Could not put together the deals to run the ASC again this season, but he has the championship in his trophy case from last season. We're glad to see he is still watching us here on Flux TV. But as I said, Dale the Whale, your points leader after the win at Daytona and a 5th place run at Willow Springs last week. Hoping to see him pop in, but in the meantime, second in the championship, that is Taijo in the factory Ford Performance GT. Taijo picking up not only his first career win in the series, but the first win in the series for a Ford last week at Willow Springs. Just had a fantastic weekend for him. He was obviously, as I said, the winner last week in this series, and then was the runner-up in the IndyCar event the next night. So he's looking forward to a big weekend here on the Flux American Tour, which of course will also be here tomorrow night for the IndyCars here at the Long Beach Street Circuit. They said round 3 of 8 on this tough course. He has had himself a terrific season so far. Let me pull up my results board for you here. Get some statistics up here for you. As to how everybody's doing, got myself set up. Looks like Taijo coming into the pits after putting down a couple of times. We are still early on here. That, if anything, is a statistical anomaly so far this season. Only 2 rounds through, but not a single driver, it appears, has 2 podiums. We've had 6 different drivers on the podium in the 2 rounds. But as I said, Taijo in second in the point standings after that win last week at Willow Springs, just 3 markers back from Dale the Whale. Taijo, one of the European drivers coming over, and I think he's primed for a championship run. Last season, he spent all season developing the car. Got just 1 podium, I believe, last season, but has come in this season ready to haul bear, and that win at Willow Springs proves it. We'll see what he's got here as they move just a little bit west in California to the coast and to Long Beach. 3rd place in the championship in the Perispheric Corvette is Super Crusher, currently 16 points back. Super Crusher currently 16 points back with a 4th and a 6th place finish. We talked about him quite a bit last week as well. Teammates with his father in the Revs Martin and the other Perispheric car. We'll be talking about him momentarily as well. But Super Crusher has been right there. He got his first win in the series last season at Laguna Seca, I believe. I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong. I could look through my notes, but I'd rather keep talking, folks. But Super Crusher, got his first win in the series late last season at Laguna Seca. 16 points back in 3rd after the first 2 rounds, and he knows, as he spins it right there, going to bring the car in before he causes any damage to anyone. Often you'll see the fastest lap times after they lay some rubber down here. Live Track 2.0 on Project Cars 2 is fantastic. Best of the console generation. 4th place in the points. Currently sitting 18 points back is NZ Jack. Another driver back for his 2nd season in the series. Looks like he's already banged up that egg melt Corvette. Jack, so far this season, not yet on the podium. He's had his share of good runs dating back to last season, but this is a guy we've been waiting to see break through. Has yet to get his first win in this series. Definitely a guy I would think to be a contender, and I think this track in particular, Jack should be ready for. Anybody who regularly watches Flux TV will remember last season, 2021 Season 1, in the season opening IndyCar race here at Long Beach. He and Cat Guy went through, who's on the screen with you there as well, went through an epic duel. After the 45 minutes, Cat Guy nicked him by just half a second at the line. So that could definitely be something we're looking forward to, as those two are currently 2nd and 3rd on the board. Currently 5th in the championship points coming into the season is the lone full-time Porsche driver, the Porsche Factory 92 of Deadly Hawk, and he's already bearing the scars of Long Beach here during qualifying. Deadly Hawk picking up the podium last week at Willow Springs. Let me double check my notes there. That is correct. He picked up a podium last week at Willow Springs. I believe he had one as well late last season. So this being his 10th, 11th career start in the 11 races of the Flux American Sports Car Championship in the 2 seasons, he's got that Porsche on the podium. And much like Taijo getting the win last week, this has been a Corvette-dominated series, even going back to prior to Flux Motorsport sanctioning. But despite that fact, you saw Taijo and Deadly Hawk both driving the Ford and the Porsche all last season, developing the car, developing packages for the American Tour venues, and they've come back this season a whole lot better. And that's what led to last week's Willow Springs finish, where we had Ford, Chevy, and Porsche, 3 different makes, occupying the podium. But Deadly Hawk comes in just 21 points back in 5th place, looking to push himself forward here as of yet has not put the time down. That brings us to Just Piddlin in the cool Corvette, a first season driver. He's a veteran sim racer, but is classified as a rookie here in Flux Motorsport. He made a fantastic debut 2 weeks ago in the traditional season opener at Daytona as he chased down Dale and wound up finishing a close second place at Daytona in his very first series start. Did not have quite the luck last week, only managing 4 points down near with a sub top 10 finish. But he's back here this week and looking to put it back in, as he is currently in 6th in the points. Sorry for the delay there, but yeah, Just Piddlin currently 6th in the points after the fall-off race at Willow Springs, but this is a American driver, I believe. He knows these American courses on the Flux American Tour, and he showed it at Daytona, and we're going to be looking to see it further here this week. In the other Team Perispheric Corvette, that is Revs Martin. He is Super Crusher's father, driving the 82 car. He is currently 7th on the time chart and also 7th in the points after the first 2 rounds. Revs has had a couple of solid runs so far this season. Was pushing towards the top 5 at Daytona until calamity struck. He's another driver that I just think that the more experience he gets at this level of sim racing, that he will be able to put it together. He has shown a lot of pace, a lot of smarts. Him and Super Crusher obviously working together to get those Corvettes up and running, and we expect good things out of him. He's, as I said, 7th in the points, 31 back, tied with the 8th place runner right now, and that is OGR Cat Guy in the number 3 factory Corvette. The veteran, the reigning Flux IndyCar champion, was 3rd place in the points in this series last season, and he has had a very tough start to 2021 season 2 here in the Flux ASC. He did not have the type of run at Long Beach that he needed, or I'm sorry, at Daytona that he needed, as I'm looking up his stats, as I believe he did not finish. That's right, he had a blown motor. Mechanical trouble at Daytona took him out, but last week he got it back at Willow Springs, brought the car home in 2nd behind Ty Joe. He had a hellacious battle towards the end of the race, had the better car towards the end of the race and was making up time, but Ty Joe's strategy played perfectly and he held on to get the win. But Cat Guy needed a recovery drive last week at Willow. He got it. That has moved him up into 8th place in the points after the first 2 races, still very much alive. 9th place after the first 2 rounds is one of our fellow Flux TV broadcasters, Mick Toasty, who is currently at the top of the speed chart in the Caparel Corvette with a 1:14.9 here with just under 7 minutes to go in qualifying. Toasty sitting 9th in the points, not yet on the podium. He was 3rd at Daytona. I apologize for that. So McToasty managed a 3rd place finish, got on the podium at Daytona, and then last week I do not believe he was there at Willow Springs, or did not complete the race at any rate. Do not believe it was a DNS. Nonetheless, he comes in after that podium finish, still well within striking distance, as we said, only the 3rd round of 8 in the championship. And especially with a race like Long Beach coming up here, you never know. There's going to be cars that get banged up here early in the race who are going to end up competing for a top 5. We saw Cat Guy take some damage last week and drive it back up to second, so you never know. Then rounding out the top 10 will be Chris 94 M Sport. He's I believe a British import, runs in the other Caparel Corvette, the 26 car, I believe. Chris managed, I believe, a 7th at Daytona. I'll check that. No, it was a 6th place at Daytona, did not complete Willow Springs. But the 20 points he scored there enough to get him 10th. That's where we're going to leave it here for the moment. Those are your top 10. As we've got just under 5 minutes to go in qualifying. McToasty sitting on a 1:14.9 at the moment. Qualifying so important here at Long Beach, a very difficult track. I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to give you the track walk until part way through the race, because I've been burned so many times. I know McToasty's probably listening. He's probably thinking, I'm going to go do a whole lap right now. You can trust me. But I don't. No longer doing the track walk during qualifying. But very tight up there at the top. Those two vets, McToasty and NZ Jack, currently occupying the top 2 spots. 1:14.9, 1:15.1. They're banging the cars off the wall and then bringing them back in. Super Crusher, meanwhile, he's got to be feeling good. He's got some damage to that car that his crew's going to have to bang out before the race start, but currently sitting up in 3rd. As we said, qualifying so important. It's a 2x2 rolling start on the Flux American Tour, and that is going to be definitely vitally important. Cat Guy sitting not far behind that, and O'Brien, I'm sorry, back and forth. The 2 factory Corvettes of O'Brien and Cat Guy, 2 longtime veterans of the series, currently rounding out the top 5 on the board at the moment. Give some screen time here to, well, we got a penalty on Rebs Martin. It's going to be 1 grid place. Green Gaiman ran the full series last year. Good to see him back. He has made a manufacturer change, just announcing today a new deal for the rest of the season from Ford. So obviously Ford comes out, they get their first win in the series with Taijo last week. They decide to spread around some of that corporate money, and they bring Green Gaiman on board in the Ford GT. So now we've got at least 3 Ford GT cars, I believe. Yeah, 3 Ford GTs. We'll have to get to S2N Remy there in a moment, as a number of cars pitting with 2.5 minutes to go in qualifying. We've been rooting for the Fords. Yeah, they made their breakthrough. As I said, last season, you got to give it to the Fords and the Porsche with Deadly Hawk on the podium last week. The vets dominated this series last season. And it's not just that the cars themselves, but many of the better drivers in the series were in them. Those guys just developed the cars, and they brought it back this season. They've been competitive, and then they finally broke through. We'll have to see if Porsche can do the same thing. But yeah, there's another announcement. In the 91 Porsche, there is Deadly Hawk now has a teammate in the factory Porsche racing cars, and that is S2N Remy. He is a rookie to Flux Motorsport, but a long-time veteran of the lineages of the American Tour. Used to work with myself in not 1 but 2 prior sanctioning bodies that are the ancestors of the American Tour operations over here, ones we used to run with. Remy, however, a rookie in Flux, trying to get used to the new cars, but he is in a Porsche, giving us 2 Porsches in the field. He's a reserve driver, so this may be just a one-off drive. He's looking to get full-time in the series, but as of now, wonder if him and Deadly Hawk have any concepts for the Porsche. I would expect Long Beach to be a good Porsche track, but at the moment, he and Deadly Hawk are down near the bottom of qualifying, sitting in the back, not having broken out of the 117s, which is a bit of a surprise. Looks like Muttley parking that other Ford GT in the pits. He's going to accept starting shotgun on the field. But meanwhile, let's see if anybody else is going to pull down any more lap times. McToasty looking to get that bonus point and the pole. Like we said, so vital here at Long Beach. All right, we are just about wrapping up qualifying here. Got their clock running out. We'll see if anybody's got anything for McToasty. Let's see what NZ Jack can come up with. As we said, he has a pedigree here last. Ooh, and that's not going to do it. As he catches the wall coming out of turn 5. Anybody else? Anybody else with a shot? We'll see. Otherwise, McToasty is going to take the bonus point for the pole. Such a tough track here. As I said, we'll get you a track walk through it here a little later, but this is a little over 2 miles. I believe it's about 2.4 miles. It is the premier street circuit in North America. Certainly North America's Monaco in a lot of ways. And the IndyCar race, the Grand Prix of Long Beach, is here every season. Sports cars race here, as I said, here at Flux Motorsport. The American Tour is here this weekend for both this GTE American Sports Car Championship and the Indy Cars tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, so we hope we'll catch you there on Flux TV. You can also check out fluxmotorsport.com for any and all information about Flux. Chris with that late run, we'll get to that in a moment, but this will be, as they finalize it, we will give you the final qualification of the Flux Motorsport 2021 Season 2 American Sports Car Championship Round 3 at Long Beach. McToasty taking that Corvette onto the pole with a 114.960. He will be flanked on the outside of the front row by NZ Jack, also in a vet. Continuing the vet sweep, the Brit Chris 94 M Sport brings it up with a late lap. I told you to watch those late laps in qualifying. Once the rubber's down, he puts down a 115.8, 115.6, and will start third. Starting fourth, just piddling with a terrific lap himself, continuing the Corvette dominance with the 115.8. He'll try to get his second podium of the season here tonight. Super Crusher, third place in points, starts fifth. He will be flanked on the outside of row 3 by veteran O'Brien 79, who has had some hard luck so far this season. Starting 7th, or qualifying 7th, but will be taking a grid penalty, will be Revs Martin and the other Team Parispheric Corvette. He will be flanked on the outside by Cat Guy, who last week did not get the qualifying run he wanted, but drove it back up to a second place finish. Last week's winner, Taijo, will start in 9th on the inside of row 5. A little disappointing in the qualifying for him. He will be flanked by a fellow Ford, the Canadian Green Gaming. Starting 11th on the inside of row 6 will be Remy in the Porsche. He's flanked by the other Porsche, that is Deadly Hawk, and it will be the Ford of Muttley rounding out your field. So Corvette sweeping qualifying straight up through the top 8. So perhaps a Corvette dominance here. We'll have to wait and see. But qualifying is in the books, and we are going to be getting ready to start. Yeah, we've seen it. Ruben saying it's a rare day when we don't see the Corvettes up top. But to be honest with you, we have seen, as I said, Team Ford, the Ford Performance team, they have Ty Joe's developed that car and got in victory lane. You've seen Deadly Hawk develop that Porsche. He got on the podium twice now, including last week at Willow Springs. So I really think that you could be surprised here. Of course, the biggest story is into turn one, which makes me wonder if chase cam from the back of the field might be the best way to go here at the start. I know there are differing opinions about that among the viewers, but something tells me that we're going to want to see how they pile into turn one and then move up the field from there. So with no objections, I'm going to get on the chase cam on the back of the field with Deadly Hawk, who's starting shotgun, a podium last week, third place finish at Willow Springs, but not getting it together here in qualifying. We will take a look at the start and get them rolling, and I am going to be ready to fire it over the other side. All right, there he goes. They are off, moving up towards the front. Looking at Ty Joe shooting up to the inside. Take a look at how they take turn one as we're looking at it from Muttley. We've got somebody going off wide there. That looks, ooh, Muttley getting into Ty Joe a little bit, contact between the two Fords. And that was Chris M. Sport who went wide in turn one. I don't know if he took some damage to the car there. Maybe he was trying to avoid it. We got one Porsche already banged up. That's Deadly Hawk already coming in from the back. You would have thought he might have been able to avoid some of that, but could not. And Cat Guy looks like he got caught up in something, qualifying from the 8th spot. I wonder if we're going to see him into the pits. There might be. Let me check the speedometer. We might have a red flag. Yes, we do. We have a pile-up track blockage red flag situation. We were appraised that this could be a possibility if there were cars at the back coming to a stop here at Long Beach. If there were cars blocked, that there would be a possible red flag. Some of the questions coming up. Red flag is the situation, and they're going to open up the pits and then bring them back out. We were discussing the possibility of this if we had a crash that blocked the track. I did not see the track blockage, but that would mean there were cars that were stuck and came to a stop and could not go. What will happen is here, the pits will open. Cars can choose to pit if they want to. We see a couple of guys diving in, especially the ones who took some damage, and several cars, obviously NZ Jack, who shot to the lead, Super Crusher in second. Looks like our pole sitter McToasty fell back to 7th. He's one of the cars in the pit, so he got banged up. So now they pitted there under, just like, looks like 6 cars stayed out, 7 cars chose to pit. Gonna bang out what they can on the damage of the cars here. There's McToasty, your pole sitter, obviously got caught up in it going into turn 1. So now after that, after the red flag, they will reform where they are at. The cars that just pitted will be staying at the back, and then they will restart it on a single file restart, rolling. First time we've had to use that in the Flux American Sports Car Championship here in 2 seasons, but not terribly surprised at a place like this. McToasty took a shot. Ty Joe got hit from the back, which I believe was after the initial contact. I think Muttley just got him coming in there at the end. The 2 Porsches are just now coming out of the pits as well, so the clock is still running underneath the red flag here, and we'll give you a rundown of where they stayed out. Top 6 cars all chose not to pit, so NZ Jack from the front row takes over the lead. He's got Super Crusher right behind him. Just Pidlin is in 3rd in the number 50 car. O'Brien is in the factory Corvette number 4 in 4th. Chris 94 M Sport got a little bit banged up but kept out. and managed to come in 5th, Muttley 6th. Those are the top cars. It looks like everybody managed to stay on the lead lap. And no, it's using the regular accelerated tire wear, Ruben. No, it looks like we took the green flag already. I was not aware of that. Yes, they did. Came around the line. Let's get them going. Number of cars catching up, but that is how it goes. They go green the next time by after the pits open. And in the meanwhile, that shot NZ Jack and Super Crusher managing to get ahead on the restart. Yeah, they took off. What can happen there when you got a single file restart is the front 2 cars don't have to worry going into turn 1. They can take the corner normal, but third on back is going to be starting to fan out. That's probably what I missed on the camera there, and that gave NZ Jack and Super Crusher a bit of a jump. But we are still very early in this race, just 5 minutes in, despite the red flag. And it looks like all 13 cars managing to stay on the lead lap. Some of the ones that made longer pit stops have lost a little more time. But major impact in turn 1 at the start, red flag. And there we go. Let's take a look. Looks like O'Brien got by just Piddlin. McToastie's not far behind him, but let's get on board with just Piddlin. We'll be checking out the penalties. Looks like Revs Martin might have one. I'll check the duration of that here pretty soon. But O'Brien in his vet getting past just Piddlin and battling here for 3rd place. They've got McToastie not far. You can see him in the rear view camera there here on just Piddlin's Corvettes as the vets are dominant here in the early going. Green Gaming, meanwhile, back in the pits, probably making some more damage repairs. Time to check the timings. Yeah, 10-second penalty on Revs Martin. Have to get a check on what that is for. But these 3 are about to be battling it out. O'Brien, just Piddlin, and McToastie. From 3rd through 5th here early on, battling through turn 1. We've got one of the Fords getting out of the way. I believe that's Green Gaiman who was exiting the pits. But we've seen that happen, rubber banding at this track. Tire wear is going to be a factor here, especially if you think you're going to make the 45 minutes without pitting for tires. The red flag will definitely help that a little, but you can't do too much. You got to take care of the car a bit if you're going to make that work here, as there is a long way to go. McToastie, your pole sitter, has moved all the way back up to 5th, and looks like he's trying to make a move. All 3 of these guys are just going at it. O'Brien, just Piddlin, and it looks like somebody's around. I think O'Brien might have went around there. Just Piddlin, can't get a view on him here. Yeah, he went around there in turn 9, as our camera's not giving us the best angles here. But that was a good battle. Looks like they went 3 wide there into turn 9. And a little bit of fender damage. Just Piddlin falls back from 4th to 8th, while McToastie takes that banged up Corvette off the pole on the first lap. And what do you know? He gets banged up on lap 1, comes in, makes a little bit of repairs that he could make, and he is right back out in 3rd place. So we'll see what that car still has on it, how much he was able to repair, how well he'll be able to get that thing to drive. But already a terrific recovery drive for him. Looks like Cat Guy and just Piddlin taking the worst of that exchange. Muttley and the Ford trying to hold off just Piddlin and Tydra. There's your battle for 6th. 6th place Tyjo in the Ford, Muttley in 7th, and then just Piddlin, who's going to be trying to get back to where he was at, running in 8th place. Action all over the track here at Long Beach. This is going to be a bit of a, we figure, a war of attrition, but I'd say not just a war of attrition, but a war of conservation, making sure you keep the car underneath you. You got a ways to go. These kind of lap times you're going to see, 35 laps, 32, 33 laps, even with the red flag. You got to take care somewhere above 30, so you're going to have to take care of the tires. Ooh, and Muttley goes around and just gets nicked by just Piddlin. I think he avoided taking any serious damage there. But Muttley getting into the wall in turn 1, and his day continues to slide. He's got one banged up Ford GT right now. Meanwhile, back up front, NZ Jack has opened up 2.5 seconds on Super Crusher in the lead. Started on the outside pole, has shot to the lead with McToastie's problems, and McToastie's bringing that thing right back up. Now, mind the graphics may show that McToastie has more damage than he actually does, but a lot of times I find even when you make a full repair, the car doesn't feel the same because you banged it up, and McToastie's tearing it up. He just ran a 1:15.9 and is moving in. So amazing to be on the pole, get damaged on lap 1, make a quick pit stop, come back out, and then you're right back up to 3rd place within just a handful of laps. So it might be that McToastie's got a car of destiny here this week. But as I said, we've got a long way to go. Muttley in the pits for repairs, by the way. But we've got a long way to go, and anything can go wrong here at any time. And looks like McToastie got a little wide right there. So you never know what's going to happen. We need to do our track walk here while we've got the chance. I'm going to give it to last week's winner, Tyjo, currently running in 6th in that Ford Performance GT. Took his first career Flux American Sports Car Championship win last week at Willow Springs. Also the first win for the Ford GT. He is also currently the highest running Ford in this race. Did not qualify where he wanted. I believe 9th is where he started, but got banged up on the first lap, but he's currently sitting in 6th, just 16 seconds back. We're going to give the track walk with him when he comes around towards the start finish, as he comes off of turn 11. Now on the front stretch, you are getting as hard as you can on that gas here. Little kink here on Shoreline as you take the start finish line. You're coming down, slight kink, take it as far to the right as you can, hard on the brakes as you get down into turn 1. This is where there's danger. Don't want to catch that wall. You're coming through turn 2 and 3 in the fountain. Right here, 2, 3, 4 through the fountain. A hard right-hander, a little bit off camber, pushes you towards the wall in turn 5. Turn 6 wants to throw you. There's a bump, throws you over the curb. So those tires are sticking out, and now down to the harsh turn 7, one of the more dangerous turns in the track, because you got to get as close to this wall as you can. But coming out right there, the car does not want to grab traction here on the bumpy and greasy city streets of Long Beach. All right, turn 8 takes you onto the second longest straightaway. The back straightaway here on the Long Beach Street Circuit is going to bring you down into turn 9. This is one of your best passing zones, is right down here into turn 9, but you've got to get down on it as Muttley goes around and gets right in front of Tyjo, and Tyjo just bad luck again, getting banged up as Muttley lost it in turn 9 right in front of him. Anyway, you go through that complex. 9, 10, 11 is the famous hairpin, and then you're back on the throttle as hard as you can. That is one unhappy lap around the Long Beach Street Circuit. So Tyjo getting maybe a little bit on the nose right there, but apparently feels like he can stay out, so he's fallen back to 7th with that. Tyjo can't catch a break this week, that is absolutely true. Nor can Muttley. Meanwhile, while we were doing the track walk, McToastie got that banged up Corvette by Super Crusher. maybe Super Crusher had a problem. He's up to second, but we've got a battle for position right here for third. Super Crusher seems to be fighting with that car, as he is currently in third place. O'Brien has got that thing into fourth, which is, I believe, where he qualified. So he's going to be looking to move up. So battle for third here as we are approaching 30 minutes remaining here at Long Beach. O'Brien have a problem there again. I'm guessing he did. That's the second time O'Brien has had some problems there in turn 9. He seems to be very quick, but he cannot seem to get turn 9 underneath him. And now he's going to have to regroup and go after him again. All right, let's take a look on a track walk, since I don't have any guys right on top of each other. 5 seconds now for NZ Jack. He just ran a 1:16.6 last time by on lap 10. We'll see what he's got this time by. But our front row qualifier is definitely pacing very quickly. He is well out front in that Corvette, and more importantly, not a scratch on it here 15 minutes into the race. About 5 seconds back, as you can follow on the track map there, the blue arrow is the car in question. The white cars are the cars on the same lap as them, so you give them an idea of who they're chasing. Right there, just about to go through the turn, coming through turn 9 and 10, and about to go through the turn 11 hairpin on the shoreline. McToasty, already a fantastic recovery drive from the pole. Got damage on lap 1, went back in the field, made a pit stop. Came back out and has that thing up in the second and just turned a 1:16.1. So he is absolutely gaining on Jack right now. The question you have to ask, though, is he using too much of that car up to get back to the front? We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Super Crusher hanging on to third place at the moment. Looks like he had to gather himself and get going. He has just been consistent all season, as we said, third place in the points after the first 2 races, and has really been a rising driver in the Corvette stable here in 2021 season 2. And if he can continue to run where he is, he's got a shot. But he's got O'Brien catching up to him. O'Brien, hard luck this season, has not finished a race, despite the fact that he definitely was one of the preseason favorites. Comes here into round 3 desperately needing to get some points. He desperately needs to get as many as possible. Currently running in fourth, about 12 seconds back off the leaders. And he just really needs to get a finish. I think getting on the podium would be fantastic. But with everything that's going on for him this season, he just needs to get that car to the finish of the race. And I think that he still has time to mount a championship chase, especially the way we've seen this season going. As we said, first 2 races this season, 6 different finishers on the podium. So he's definitely got time to move it back up. Back into 5th place is Chris 94 in one of the Caparel Corvettes, the British driver. He put it on to 3rd on the very last lap of qualifying, and then got caught up, or at least held up in the track blockage that caused a red flag at the beginning of the race. And has climbed it back up to 5th. Last lap 1:18. We'll see what he's got this time by, though. That might have just been a slow lap for him. Currently running about 18 seconds back off the leader. By no way, shape, or form out of this. But this is a guy who has definitely shown some pace. He was the special events winner of the Sabine Schmitz Memorial in the Flux off season. So you know he's got a fast car. I would too, Ruben. Love to see some replays, and hopefully on our next hardware, when we get to the next set of hardware, maybe we will have something like that for the broadcasters to use. That would be incredible. All right, here's a battle shaping up for 6th place. Taijo, last week's winner, and Just Piddlin, who qualified, started the race up in 4th, has been in more than his share of fracas so far in the first 20 minutes of this one. But right now they are going tooth and nail for 6th place, running wait for the scoring to cycle as they come through turns 1 and head towards the fountain. They're about 25 seconds back off of race leader NZ Jack right now, but still plenty of chances to move up here in this race. 26 minutes to go. We've still got a long way to go, but right now it's Ford versus Chevy for 6th. Get on board once again with just piddling in that vet, see what he's seeing as he chases Taijo down the back straight into turn 9. Got to be real careful through there. As I said, you've seen O'Brien lock it up twice coming into there already, and he's got a car that's working, so that's the tough part right there at 11. You've got to come out, but if there's someone in front of you, you can't get on the throttle the way that you want, and that gives them the momentum down the front stretch. It should be a good passing zone, but if the driver does not make a mistake, it really isn't. So right now, just Pidlin really just has to be patient. He's turning quick laps. He could probably get beyond the 117s down into the 116s where the leaders are at if he could get by Taijo into clear track. But right now, they could be pacing themselves. As I said, we are not yet at halfway, 15 laps in. And these guys, if they're not planning on making a pit stop, again, maybe they stopped during the red flag, but tire wear is a factor. We saw it last week. It worked out for Taijo, but Cat Guy had a much better set of tires on towards the end of the race last week at Willow Springs and was quickly catching up to him. So these guys might be biding their time, but they do not want to fall any further back. Oh, I understand, Ruben. Yeah, I'm definitely going to rewind that and check it out. Yeah, McToasty slowly closing in, as you say here. Now down to 3.5. He's generally running half a second or more a lap quicker on a clean lap, but you got to believe that some of that damage that he took on lap 1 could be affecting the handling of the car. Nonetheless, this is just a fantastic recovery drive as he is consistently lapping among the fastest in the field. He's got that front end hanging down, as you can see, but obviously they patched together what mattered. And as a result, he is still lapping, as I said, all the way back up to second. So those are your front row qualifiers reversing positions, but right back where they started. Want to take a good time to remind you guys, you want to get involved, like what you see here on Flux TV, check out fluxmotorsport.com. You can sign up to the Discord to join as a competitor, get yourself all the Flux merchandise, swag, discounts from our affiliates and partners, exclusive deals. Check it out, fluxmotorsport.com. And we hope you're a fan here of the Flux American Sports Car Championship, because we have put together these guys have put together some great racing this season, as has the GT1s and the touring cars on the European Tour. Caught those races on Flux TV this week. I highly recommend, no spoilers here, but I highly recommend you go and check those out. 1:15.9, McToasty getting quicker now as he is taking fuel off the car, as we are inside of halfway now here at Long Beach, and it's just going to be, you got to remember the old maxim though, guys. Catching somebody's one thing, passing them's another. NZ Jack was in this position right here on this track last season in the Indy cars, and he was quicker and couldn't get by. So it's going to be tough to tell, as NZ Jack's starting to bring it down too. Like I said, you got to wonder, the only thing you got to wonder right now about McToasty, great recovery drive, but has he used up those tires getting himself back into the race? We'll have to monitor his lap times, but definitely something to be concerned about. Ooh, Chris bouncing off the walls there coming out of the fountain as he's trying to hang on to 5th place ahead of Taijo, and he's sliding down to the inside. It looks like he's slowing down. He's got some kind of problem with that Corvette. I gotta believe that Taijo and the lapped car behind him, which I'm not sure who that is, might catch up to him soon, but no, he's got it going. He's got it back. You can see the little bit of the hood raise, which is definitely not going to do any aerodynamic favors to the car. But Chris going to try to hang on here as he's got, those are lap cars behind him. I apologize. Taijo's are scoring here, I believe. So there's Taijo coming behind the lapped car. That is the lapped car of either Deadly Hawk or, yeah, it's Deadly Hawk who's between them. So we're going to see him. He's flashing the lights, letting them know to get out of the way. Good job there by Deadly Hawk, who after last week's podium run is not having as good of a race here in the Golden State, as he is a lap down running in 11th. So Taijo now going to try to zone in on Chris for the prestigious and symbolic top 5. Meanwhile, up front, it is just getting closer and closer between NZ Jack and McToasty. McToasty's still getting about half a second a lap on him as we are inside of 20 minutes working on lap 19 as they're coming out of the hairpin onto the front stretch. We'll be taking the flag for lap 20 here pretty soon, and McToasty is just catching up. NZ Jack, the New Zealander, trying to hang on. He's got a car that doesn't appear to have anything wrong with it, and maybe he's saving. We've talked about that. I've talked about it in these broadcasts, and I've certainly talked about it in practice rooms with drivers, trying to share some wisdom from my experience. When you're in a situation, like let's say you're in NZ Jack's shoes, and you're watching the times as you're going around, and you realize that McToasty's out lapping you by 2 or 3 tenths a lap, and there's 30 minutes to go in the race, 35 minutes to go in the race. Well, you know, if he doesn't have any problems, he's eventually going to catch you at that pace. Well, if he's eventually going to catch you at that pace, then you might as well run easy and let him catch you. If he starts catching you by half a second, you want to make sure that you have tires when he gets to you. And if he starts seeing that he's going 3, 4, 5 tenths quicker than you, that might get the red mist on him, and he's going to start driving harder. So yeah, he might catch you 2 or 3 laps sooner, but it is not going to do you a whole lot of good if you have nothing to race with when you get there. So NZ Jack might be playing that kind of game. McToasty lost a little time on that last lap, so obviously, as I said, rubber banding back and forth as they try to see what they got here for the end. Pointed out by our viewers, Taijo has moved past into 5th. I believe that's got to be Chris M Sport having trouble with the handling of that car. We saw him bobble coming into turn 7 a couple of laps ago, and you got to believe that he just does not want to make a pit stop as he's running among a glut of cars here. That's a lot of championship points that are on the line. Somebody has parked it in the pit lane. Try to get a report on who that is for you, but we've got a retirement somewhere. These guys are going at it right here. I believe this is for position, and I believe it might be Muttley, as he has just joined the booth. Let's get on the chase cam here, as this is all non-stop action. There are 4 cars here. One of them is the lapped car of Green Gaiman, who's just now getting out of the way. There we go. So that's just Piddlin in 8th, Cat Guy in 7th, and Chris in 6th, as he's obviously fighting that car since Taijo got by him. We're going to welcome Muttley into the booth, who has finally parked that Ford GT after getting banged around. Sorry to see you up here this early, Muttley, but what took you out?
I think the pressures on the tyres were wrong. It just wouldn't stop sliding. It's all over the joint.
Yeah, it
And,
seemed
you
like...
know, yeah, coming into this section here where you're coming in and out of the buildings and coming around that corner, it just wanted to go, staying going right to the fence. The tyres just, I don't know, overpressured or something, I don't know.
And yes, you are absolutely right. We got a question right there from CDN. Looks like Cat Guy lost his rear wing. You can see the front end tore up. He just let Just Piddlin by, and it looks like the lapped car of Green Gaiman's all over him too, and it might go by here as well. So it looks like Cat Guy has definitely taken some damage. So after the recovery drive last week to get on the podium, Cat Guy catching more bad luck here this week, just 15 minutes to go. I know he might be trying to drive that home, but that's going to be tough to do at this place without a rear wing and with that front end bent up like that. We'll see if he's coming into the pits here, but tough luck for last season's third place points finisher.
Yeah, well, it's tough driving even with your tyres in the wrong pressure.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Is that what happened to him? Made a pit stop and didn't fix the...
Well, I put in the pressures I wanted, but the thing is, I think I went the wrong way and it just put, like I was running 27 PSI to 30, so she was very slippery.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
As we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here inside of 15 minutes, I was a bit surprised, Muttley, you being a Ford factory driver, getting the win last week, adding another Ford into the stable this week, and I was surprised that the Fords were more competitive here at Long Beach.
Well, the Corvette, even though it's got the front out of the corners, you know, they don't really get a run. You know what I mean? The Ford's going to hang through the corners better. So that's always been I think the Ford's advantage over the Corvette. The Corvette's a little bit slower. Overall corner speed from point to point is probably a little slower than what the Ford could be, and that's where the Ford guys are always got to be, you know, carrying the most speed they can through the corners to keep up with the Corvette, so they don't have the straight line speed. But once they get going and then get towards the top end where the twin turbos start to help, then they can get back onto the Corvette guys. Like, you know, Daytona is a classic track. This track's more about keeping it off the walls and trying to keep it in the tow with the Corvettes, you know.
No, absolutely, and we've got a great battle for the lead. Mick Toasty is now there with NZ Jack with 13 minutes to go, so they've got a number of laps left. You got to say probably at least 10 or 11 at least, or around 10. And let's see what Mick Toasty has left on those tires. He has raced, as we said, started on the pole, got banged up in lap 1. We couldn't quite catch what that was with the camera angles we're given here on PC2. But he was... Yeah, you got a saying on that. What went down there in turn 1, Muttley? You were in the car.
Well, I just seen two people in front of me get together on the straight as we got let go. So we got let go and we got going, and the two cars in front of me were crashing. So I went stage right towards the fence to get away from them and missed it. And then Cat Guy was singing out red flag, because he got run over from behind for some reason or other. So that's why we went that lap around and then did the extra lap before we went green again.
I got you. So, track got held up, got blocked up before the green. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, so somewhere...
It's weird because they let him go and we all seemed to be all right. But then as I got down to that, you know, the wall seemed to be closing before turn 1, they sort of touched together, and then it just all launched off. So I didn't see Cat Guy getting run over because I'm trying to miss the mess as you do.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, I think it was the right call. Given a race like this, you know, everybody's going to pile in and you're going to have 12 cars damaged if you're not careful. I think it was the right call, and definitely has obviously led to this. These guys are coming up to some back markers, and now this is going to get interesting. We're inside now to 11 minutes to go with the two leaders battling it out. And you got to give a shout out to Super Crusher back there in third. He's 9.5 seconds back, but he is running pace with these guys. So now here's the interesting thing. They're coming up on 1, 2, 3, 4 lap down cars that are all racing for position, which means that they can try to respect the blue flag, but obviously they're running their own race as well. So with those guys running their own race, this is going to get interesting. What if these two get blocked up and Super Crusher, who is already starting to lap quicker, 9 seconds back in third, this gives him, possibly could give him time to catch up, or even Cat Guy, or O'Brien, I'm sorry, back in fourth, 12 seconds back. This could even give him time to get back into this. We got one of them getting out of the way. I believe that's Cat Guy.
Yeah, Cat Guy got out of the way.
But they've got three.
He wouldn't want anybody behind him because he has no wing.
Yeah, Cat Guy's just trying to drive it home, and he's hoping to hold on to 10th here. Just not been his day. But these guys are coming up on a number of lap cars, and that could very possibly, you can see Super Crusher and O'Brien are starting to move in.
Oh, hello. Let's go. Oh, no, I thought it was going in the wall then.
NZ Jack has kept it clean so far. McToasty was unable to. He's got some damage, but he's running just as fast. They're definitely getting their Long Beach stripes here.
Nah.
Calling it Long Beach stripes. I'm missing stock car racing, I can tell you that. Used to the Darlington stripes. But yeah, here they go. Coming through the 9, 10, 11 section. And this is the spot. Right here, McToasty feels like I could get him, but it's very hard to get a run on somebody coming out of that corner because you need the whole track to get the proper line to be as fast as you can be here on the shoreline straightaway. But if there's a car in front of you, he's going to take that line. And there's nowhere for you to go. One of the easiest ways to get damage here is to get on the throttle too early here and kiss the wall or just run into a slower car in front of you. But McToasty has got that. They're trying to get around. There goes Green Game in between them. He's going to do his best to get out of the way there. But as you said, you cannot just be expected to dive out of the way as he loses the wing coming through there, and McToasty catches more of it. I'll have to hope that didn't. There he goes. Then he gets out of the way when he can on the straight. But like I said, I was in a race recently where that was the case. A tight section of track, you cannot expect somebody to just move the car out of the way. They're trying to run their line just to get through it. And then I think so. Honestly, other people might disagree with me, but I think Green Gaiman did that perfect. He's not going to break his line going through the technicals. When he got to the little short straight, he pulled aside. I think that's the best that you can ask for.
Me and Tyjo tried to fit through there 2x2, and I just sort of backed out of it because I just went, oh, this is going to end up in carnage.
Yeah, that's exactly how you got to do it. You cannot expect a lap down car to move out of your way during a technical section. And personally, as a driver, I'll be honest with you, I don't. I will not move out of your way during the technical section. If you don't get up to me, like for example here, coming down to turn 1, this is a great example of a place. If you get beside me going into turn 1, the corner's yours. Or even if you get close enough that I can get out of the way and burp the throttle, if I'm a lapped car, then I'll let you in. But if I reach turn 1 before you get to that point, you're waiting all the way through you're waiting probably all the way through to here until we get out of turn 5, because I'm not going to get off the throttle anywhere through that section and break my line. So you have to wait, and it takes patience to do that and not lose more time. But in the meanwhile, 7 minutes to go. They're working lap 29 now. We're going to have a few more left, as I said, probably around 34, 35 total, which gets us in the vicinity of around 85, 90 miles for the race. These tires are definitely taking a beating. Pointing out there in the back that Revs Martin moving up. He's got that 10-second penalty, but he's moved up to 8th place now, passing Remy and all over Chris M Sport, who is obviously still fighting that car as they are working through that lap traffic. Going to have some confusion. The Caparel car in front with the yellow trim, that is the lapped car of Chris M Sport. It's the red trimmed Caparel car. His Corvette teammate of McToasty, who's the second one back there. But McToasty's losing some time here trying to get through these cars. Oh, and somebody is around. That looks like, that must be Deadly Gamer or S2N Remy. S2N Remy stuck in the fountain as he's trying to get it out of the fountain now. Tough luck for him running back in 10th place. But McToasty took it on the chin right there, caught the traffic coming up through the technicals, and now he's back to a couple seconds back. As I said, nothing, you can't really blame those guys. They're racing for position, and they're definitely getting out of the way on the straightaways, but he caught him in the wrong spot.
And some of those spots, there's not a lot of room to get past anyway. You know, it's just too hard.
Yeah, it's a difficult track, but that's why they call it racing and not lapping. If it was lapping, we'd be doing time trials. It's not lapping, it's racing, and you catch a car at that point. He's still got time. We know McToasty's got a fast car. He's only a 1.7 behind. He's still got another lap car to get through. But that's the way it is.
Well,
to get a
back to the days when we had the LMP2s in here and we were trying to get past these guys. We had to wait, sit there and wait.
Oh yeah, you got to wait and hang on and hang on. And I've been in those races, and yeah, it can be frustrating. But that's, anybody who watches this stuff for real knows that that's exactly what happens. So you get used to it. McToasty coming up on Revs Martin, I believe. There he goes. Revs Martin up to 7th now. So he has been steadily chugging away, just does get by him there going into turn 8. And now he's going to set his sights again. 4 minutes to go, maybe 4 more laps. Maybe he's got time to get back on him. But while they were doing that, look at the lead that got cut down. Super Crushers moved to within 6 seconds of the leader. And O'Brien is now down to within 8 seconds, as you can see them coming through the back section there. So they're also moving up. Little quick look at the timings. Yeah, Revs Martin just piddling in the 6th place, last car on the lead lap. Revs Martin has gone up to 7th. Chris M Sport's not far behind him in 8th, but with the way that car has been driving underneath him and as banged up as it's been, I don't think he has something to fight with. Cat Guy, meanwhile, he's a lap down, fought his way back up to 9th with Remy's problems. That is Remy, as a matter of fact, right on his tail. I think those two might be having a little personal battle for 9th place here with a couple of banged up cars.
Oh yeah.
Or Cat Guy might be letting them by because no, he's not. They're racing. I'd love to stay with you guys, but you're too far back. We got to get up to the leaders.
Oh no.
Yeah, Revs does have that 10-second penalty, so he's got to get further up in front to hang on to that 7th. Nonetheless, good drive for him, though. I got to say, you know, Super Crusher, his son and his teammate, you know, they're working on the car together, and Revs has just been hasn't shown it yet in the finishes, but he's definitely shown something out there on the track, and I think it's a matter of time before we see him up in the top 5. Meanwhile, inside of 2.5 minutes, coming to the end of lap 32, working now lap 33, and McToasty now driving back in. He's once again with a clear track. He's back to lapping faster than NZ Jack, but he's got to reset after that fracas with the lapped cars. And at the moment, we look at the arrows, they've got guys in front of them too, not that far ahead. I don't know that they'll come into play. You can look on the map and see there the lap down cars are about a couple of corners ahead. So I don't know if we're going to see that or not. Remy, meanwhile, did get by Cat Guy for 9th. Those guys, along with me and Mud, we've been racing together a long time, so that is not the first time Remy and Cat Guy have passed each other for position.
And I wouldn't say it's over yet.
No, not at all. Meanwhile, I'm going to get back into the cockpit a little bit here. You can see some of the damage. Look at the windshield that McToasty has had. But he and Jack have been the class of the field. They qualified on the front row. McToasty taking the pole. And he has driven right up through the field. I believe he restarted somewhere around 7th or 8th. He was pretty high up among the cars that pitted after the damage. So it wasn't like he was at the back of the field. but he came from the middle of the field and drove right back through with a car that, I'm telling you, even if you fully repair the car, it never feels perfect. And props to him just for getting up here. As I said, he was on the podium at Daytona, did not score at Willows, so even if he stays in second, this would be a big points day for him, but he's not thinking points day. He's thinking trophies and top of the podium, and I want to be pouring the champagne on those other two fools.
Well, he gets up the top end of the podium and gets him, back to good points and moving through the championship pretty quick. So
the best points day is when you win, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Looks like O'Brien fell back a bit of time. He might be fighting that car as he fell back and is no longer challenging Super Crusher for third. Looks like he's settling into fourth. I think O'Brien, with the luck he's had this season, I think he'll take fourth, put the points in the bank, and get ready for the Brickyard next week.
One more lap, I reckon they will.
Yeah, they're going to go one more lap. White flag is out. NZ Jack, he's in the same position but reversed that he was last season in the Indy cars at this very track. He was in second trying to get by Cat Guy, who he was quicker than. Now he's in front trying to hold off. Ooh, McToasty. McToasty giving it everything he's got, and I don't know that he's going to get another shot.
Nah, yeah.
I don't know that he's going to have another shot after that. NZ Jack, he's another, we could have another debutant. This would also, if he can hang on, this would be his first career win in the Flux American Sports Car Championship. Has been on the podium before.
These guys won't be doing this in the IndyCars tomorrow. They wouldn't have an IndyCar left.
Exactly. They're not. Yeah, you're right. They're not going to be bouncing off the walls like that, or they're going to be spending a lot of time in the pit lane. Very different race. That's it.
Take the front wings off quite quickly doing that stuff.
Yep. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, IndyCars here at Long Beach on Flux Motorsport TV and the Flux American Tours. They come off the last corner. He comes in trying to do it. Does he have something?
Yeah.
He's going to have a drag race, but I don't think he's going to have enough. They're both in vets. They both got the same thing, and it's going to be NZ Jack bringing home his first career Flux American Sports Car Championship win in the vet with a very close challenge from the pole sitter, Mick Toasty. What a finish between those two. Super Crusher is going to bring that thing home in third. Another terrific podium for him. Do we have any battles for position on the track? I don't see anybody close enough for timing now, so we'll give the glory to our race winner. Great job, NZ Jack. Another debutant. You got last week Taijo, this week NZ Jack, his first win in the ASC. Ooh. He is your winner at Long Beach.
What we got going here? Taijo and just Pidlin?
No, that was a lap car. Taijo's 4 seconds ahead of him.
Okay.
As they're looking to bring it home, Taijo's got that thing up to fifth. With all he's been through today, all the bad luck he's had, you got to give him a call to get that car all the way back up to fifth place. The win last week, this is going to put him in decent position moving forward as well. He came in second in the points. And in fact, with Dale the Whale not here, that just might move Taijo up into the lead. We'll have to wait and see. But there are your final results for the Flux Motorsport 2021 Season 2 American Sports Car Championship at Long Beach. Your winner in the vet is NZ Jack. His first career win in the series. Started on the outside of the front row, kept that car in perfect condition the whole race, held off the late charge by McToasty, took advantage of the lap traffic and being the leader, and picks up his first win. Just a fantastic drive. It's been a long time coming. He's put together some serious runs in a number of series to get that first win, and he definitely deserves it. A terrific job by Jack. Second place, McToasty took the pole. You'd say hard luck with the damage at the beginning of the race that caused the red flag, but he drove that.
It's easy to do, when the cars get released, Yeah,
he drove that thing back through the field. He definitely had a fast enough car to win, just did not get it into the right spot. Ends up coming home in second. He will be on the podium, however, for the second time this season.
And the fastest lap as well.
And the fastest lap bonus. So, yes, he definitely has a 32-point second-place day, so that's not a bad performance
That's
at all.
pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's a damn good day. Super Crusher comes in third, another podium for him. He just keeps on keeping on and keeps moving up. He came in third in the points, so third place finish is going to keep him up there for sure. That rounds out your podium finishers. O'Brien brings that thing home in fourth, as I'm going to say, probably disappointed that he couldn't give a challenge for the podium, but given his luck so far this season with the DNFs, a solid job to bring it home in fourth. And Ty Joe, last week's winner, rounding out the top five, a good top five run for Ty Joe. He seemed to be in terrible luck all race. His Ford factory teammate, some Australian guy, looping it in front of him and hitting his car. He still managed to come through with a fifth while that guy is sitting next to me. So, hey, good job, Ty Joe.
I told you that damn corner was being a pain in the backside.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, turn 9. Just Piddling brings it home in sixth. Solid run, had a definite car quick enough to contend for the podium, but he will bring home in sixth place Chris 94 M Sport. Good job bringing home that beat-up Chevy in seventh. Revs Martin will take that 10-second penalty and end up bringing home in eighth. Cat Guy, hard luck.
Got Remy.
Cat Guy got Remy at the line or at the end there, ended up with ninth. Remy brings home the highest finishing Porsche in 10th. Deadly Hawk, his Porsche factory teammate, harsh fall from the podium last week. He brings it home in 11th. And Green Gaming is our final finisher in 12th. Well, fantastic show once again here at Flux Motorsport. We encourage you once again to check out fluxmotorsport.com, where you can sign up and see all that Flux Motorsport has to offer. Tomorrow. Go ahead, Motley.
So get all your merch. If you
Absolutely.
want some merch, hats, shirts, whatever.
Yeah, it's all there. Check it out, fluxmotorsport.com. We will be back with you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 a.m. UK time, for the Flux IndyCar Championship tomorrow night, right back here at the Long Beach Street Circuit. That ought to be a fantastic race. The last season's was a terrific one. Cat Guy and NZ Jack. They did the same thing that you saw the front two do this time last season in the IndyCar.
And last season, I remember there was a similar thing to this start. It was a pretty bang cars, Indy cars going left, right, and centre, and losing wings and stuff, and getting through it, and just managing wherever I ended. What was it, fifth or something? Just driving around because all those cars had to go into the pit lane and fix their cars, and then I started losing wings off of mine, but because I had a bit of a
I fully
advantage on them.
I fully expect to see that. Yeah, I fully expect to see that. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. So for Muttley, this is Carlin Hicks. We'll see you tomorrow night on Flux TV. Have a good night.
Good night.